Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about some of the strongest heroes in the current meta. The truth is, Overwatch's meta usually shifts pretty slowly compared to other games. GOATS has been strong for a very long time now, and it's had no signs of being stopped. Our only hope is probably the upcoming role queue, but even that might not be enough. With that being said, this video won't be about strategies or team comps, but instead just the strongest individual heroes in the current meta. If you guys do enjoy this video, then why not drop a like and subscribe for some future content, but without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Alright, starting us off, it wouldn't be a strong hero list without mentioning the one and only Bridget. Bridget should be played when your team is in need of a support that is able to make a healthy amount of both burst heals and damage. When you play this hero, you deny the ability for the other team to run any sort of backliners due to Bridget's strong pressure. Best of all, because the enemies will be unable to run backliners, this will leave the other supports on your team to easily move around and create pressure, dealing damage at ease as well as building ult charge very quickly. Bridget can also help with clearing as well. She has the ability to play the role of a tank, DPS, and support. This makes her a superb all-around hero to play, especially if you want to main a hero but not set yourself up to be stuck in one specific role. Bridget can also play aggressive or even passive. Heck, even a mixture of both is very easy to pull off with her. This makes her super strong all-arounder. While I definitely want to keep this video on the professional side, most pros will agree that Bridget as a character is just simply overpowered at the moment, and there was genuinely a moment in which top 10 players in Overwatch all had their names changed to Delete Bridge. And I mean this literally. There was a time in which if you looked at the leaderboard, the top 10 players all had that exact same name. It was literally that bad. The most important thing to note is that this is probably the single character that everyone should genuinely know how to play, as I believe no matter the meta, situation, or time period, she'll stay strong for a very long time from now. Anyways, that's enough about Bridget. Let's move on to everyone's favorite monkey, Winston. Honestly, he's a great hero to play if you need to main a tank. In most cases, however, he should be played in conjunction with a Zarya for that sweet leap shield combo. This gives him 2 bubbles to work with as his teammates catch up with his long leap. He needs to also constantly be healed as he harasses the enemy front line. So while he is strong, you'll need a target focused Zarya and a follow-up to your team. But even with all that being said, the biggest benefit of mastering this, and especially if you play duo, is that the combo is hard to mess up. There's no specific aiming you have to do other than the leaping onto the enemy supports and just kind of getting pocketed by shields and heals. This basically leaves you with a free window to start an easy team fight. I mean, if you're playing Winston and you're duoing with a Zarya, you two can literally just communicate together to pick off the enemy healers and supports, which will allow your team to follow up even if they had a lack of communication. Even better, if you can play trio, that means you can do Zarya, Mercy, and Winston and kind of help carry the team. And this is why I kind of have him up here, and this is why we're talking about individual heroes. It's in hopes that you single player people, or duo player people, or trio player people can really work together to climb the ranks. Anyways, talking about Zarya, she's actually next on our list as she's both a complex and simple hero to play and is super important for any tank main to master. It's pretty much impossible to replace this hero. I mean, her ultimate is basically one of the strongest in the entire game as it simply has so much synergy with so many different heroes that it keeps things flexible for you as a player. Not to mention that the amount of damage a fully charged Zarya can do is exceptionally high in general. Higher than some DPS even, believe it or not. This makes her effective at even shredding other tanks and is able to do a lot more damage from a very long range with right clicks. Having one of these will allow you to win most close quarter combat situations, which is also crucial. The biggest counter to Zarya are just focusing her after the bubble breaks, but if you have the patience and have great prediction skills, you can avoid your own counterplays to dominate the match. If you're the patient type who thinks things through, then this hero is definitely for you. Next up, we'll be talking about Diva. Now Diva as a hero can probably be interchanged with our favorite hamster Hammond. Both of these heroes can be used to clear height and can be used to quickly navigate around the map. However, I would probably recommend Diva to most people just because she's simply easier to play when it comes to controlling her movement. With that being said, in terms of both heroes, your main focus is going to be to harass the enemies and dive people who go stray from their teammates. In general, if you get good at playing these heroes, they're one of those picks you simply can't go wrong with, as they're very versatile and they're another tank to add to your team comp. On top of that, they're just really good playmaking heroes, especially for solo players. If a Mercy, I keep using Mercy, let's give her a break, if the enemy Zenyatta gets caught off over to the side, both as Hammond and as Diva, you can quickly fly or fling yourself towards her to pick her off before starting and initiating a team fight. These little things go a long way in helping your team follow up without proper communication, which is what tends to happen in solo play. On the topic of Zenyatta, he's next on our list. So, Zenyatta is needed in a lot of cases just for his Discord orbs and the Harmony ones that he has. He's also able to do a ton of burst damage with his right click once you get good at aiming it. These three combos allow him to simply deal massive amounts of damage from a very safe distance. Your main role as Zen will be to have keen eye on enemies in a line of sight and know how to get your team to funnel into damage zones. To put that more simply, you should probably communicate with your team and Discord orb someone that everyone needs to focus on in order to melt them super quickly. You should also practice your aim, as he can be tricky to get right at first. However, once you get your footing down with this guy, he truly becomes a force to reckon with. Another big thing is I mentioned damage funneling, and I need to explain that a little. If you're in the backline and 3 of your teammates are right in front of you, and you for sure know that everyone can see the enemy Reinhardt, then you can Discord orb the enemy Reinhardt and tell everyone to shoot at him. This will melt down his shield extremely fast. However, if you're the only one that can see Reinhardt, then there's no reason to Discord orb him and shout at your teammates when they can't do much. So it's really going to be your job to pick the right targets at the right time and keep track of both where the enemies are and where your teammates are. Alrighty, moving on to our last hero for now, we have Lucio. He's obviously needed for his area of effect heals and speed boosts. Even with his recent nerf, it still hasn't stopped his effectiveness. It's simply way too important to have this safety zone in which everyone can gain health from during a team fight. The ultimate can also make or break a team fight single-handedly. Proper positioning on Lucio is so important and is the key to successfully playing him. You're going to have to learn how to chain his rides very smoothly, as his mobility and wall running is such a powerful thing that he has. It allows you to stay alive much longer than any other support, simply because a good Lucio is so difficult to hit. And if you didn't know, each chained ride grants you additional speed, which allows Lucio to quickly escape, or on the flip side, get back into the fight. And honestly, I just can't stress enough how important it is going to be for any Lucio player to learn how to ride smoothly. It's just going to increase your effectiveness on the hero by a ton, maybe double or even triple. As I briefly mentioned before, positioning is beyond important. If you're a Lucio who's diving too deep or running back too much, you'll be missing time in which you can be buffing your team using your AoE effects. Keeping yourself safe while always assisting your team isn't easy to master, but once you do, you'll become one of the most important parts of that team. Lucio has been one of the oldest heroes that's been in the meta for a very long time, starting from the very first season of Overwatch. He's been involved in a lot of metas, especially back in the dive meta. This means that he'll likely stay in future metas to come and makes him a good hero to invest time into. I know I talked a lot about Lucio, but it's because unlike the other heroes where I kind of aimed for heroes that are not only super strong but relatively easy to pick up, Lucio, he's just not that. To be super effective and really use all his power, you're going to have to put time into mastering him. Anyways, that's just enough talking altogether. This does bring us straight to the end of the video. If you guys learned anything new or simply just enjoyed listening along, then feel free to hit that like button as it really helps us out a ton. Subscribe for some future content, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.